Most people think becoming financially free feels exciting. They imagine some dramatic movie moment. A luxury car pulls into the driveway. A resignation email gets sent. A champagne bottle opens. A photo gets posted online with a caption about escaping the system. But real financial freedom usually doesn't look like that. Most of the time, it looks incredibly ordinary. You still wake up in the same apartment. You still shop at the same grocery store. You still drive the same car. Most people around you don't even notice anything changed. But internally, your entire relationship with life starts shifting. Because one day, after years of working, saving, investing, stressing, sacrificing, and slowly building assets, you realize something strange. You're no longer living month to month emotionally. And that changes a person more than luxury ever will. Because the real power of money is not buying expensive things. It's removing fear. Fear of losing your job. Fear of unexpected expenses. Fear of toxic workplaces. Fear of saying no. Fear of being trapped. That's what people are actually chasing. Not yachts, not watches, not Instagram wealth. Control. And the strange part is, most people don't understand this until much later. Because early wealth building feels almost insulting. You save your first $1,000 and nothing changes. Then maybe you hit 5,000. 10,000, 20,000. That helps. It gives you breathing room. Your car breaks down? Okay. Unexpected bill. Manageable. You stop panicking every time life happens, but you still don't feel wealthy. Then eventually, after years of consistency, some people hit $100,000 invested. And emotionally, this stage confuses people because reaching six figures sounds massive. For some people, it takes years of discipline. Skipping vacations, avoiding lifestyle inflation, saying no constantly while everyone around you spends freely. And then you finally arrive, and your life still looks mostly normal. You still work, you still pay bills, you still worry sometimes. That's where many people quietly lose motivation, because they expected a transformation. But wealth in the beginning is painfully invisible. That's the part nobody talks about. The first phase of wealth building feels like pushing a giant concrete block uphill. Every contribution feels small. Every market drop feels personal. Progress feels slow compared to effort. And this is where most people sabotage themselves. Not because they're stupid, because they get emotionally tired. They want visible results. So instead of staying patient, they start chasing excitement, crypto hype, day trading, luxury purchases, business schemes, anything that makes them feel successful immediately. Because humans struggle with delayed rewards, especially when social media constantly shows people pretending to be rich already. And meanwhile, the people quietly building real wealth often look boring. No flashy lifestyle, no dramatic success posts, no rented Lamborghinis, just consistency, over and over. And eventually something important happens. Scale begins changing the math. At first, your money barely moves. Then one day, your investments go up $2,000 in a month. That feels interesting. Later, maybe they grow 10,000 in a year. Now it feels real. Then eventually, after enough time passes, your portfolio starts producing numbers that used to require months of work. And that realization changes people psychologically. Because imagine spending your 20s believing survival depends entirely on your labor. And then suddenly your assets start generating meaningful progress without asking permission from your boss. That changes how you view everything. Work changes, stress changes, your tolerance changes. You stop accepting certain environments. You stop tolerating constant disrespect. You stop panicking over every inconvenience. You stop making decisions from desperation, because desperation disappears when you build margin, and margin quietly changes human behavior. This is why two people earning the same salary can experience completely different lives. One person makes $200,000 a year, but spends all of it. Luxury apartment, car payments, designer habits, expensive friend groups, constant upgrades. From the outside, they look successful, but internally, they're exhausted because every month requires another paycheck, another bonus, another stressful year, another negotiation with reality. Meanwhile, someone else earns far less, but spent 10 years quietly building assets. Now their life feels calmer. Not glamorous, calmer. And calm is a luxury most people underestimate, especially in modern life, because constant financial pressure slowly damages people psychologically. It affects sleep, relationships, confidence, health, identity. When survival pressure stays active for too long, people stop thinking long-term entirely. Everything becomes immediate. Immediate bills, immediate stress, immediate relief, immediate dopamine. That's why so many people stay trapped in financial cycles even after their income increases, because higher income without behavioral control often just creates more expensive pressure. And this is where lifestyle inflation becomes dangerous. People start earning more and immediately upgrade their entire existence. Bigger apartment, nicer car, more subscriptions, more expensive vacations, private schools, luxury habits, and every upgrade quietly steals future freedom. That's the trap, because many people think wealth is about increasing consumption, but real wealth is usually about increasing optionality, the ability to say, I can leave if I want, I can slow down if I need to, I can survive uncertainty, I'm not trapped anymore. That feeling is far more powerful than status symbols, and ironically, once people truly understand wealth, they often stop caring about appearances nearly as much because they start seeing how many rich-looking people are financially fragile. A lot of expensive lifestyles are built on pressure, debt, dependence, overwork, constant maintaining. Some people own luxury cars, other people own their time. Those are very different forms of wealth. And eventually, after enough years of investing consistently, another strange shift happens. Your money starts working harder than your habits. At first, discipline creates growth. Later, the machine itself starts carrying momentum. That's when compounding becomes emotional instead of mathematical. You stop seeing investing as tiny contributions. You start seeing it as buying future freedom repeatedly. And this is why wealthy people often become obsessed with protecting peace. Because once you experience life without constant financial panic, your priorities begin changing. You value sleep more, health more, family more, time more. You become less interested in proving things to strangers because insecurity drives a lot of consumption. People buy status when they want validation, but people with genuine financial security often become quieter. Not always, but often, because confidence no longer needs constant advertising. Then there's another realization nobody expects. Money problems don't completely disappear after wealth. Life still happens. Markets crash, businesses fail, relationships break, health problems appear. But wealthy people usually experience these problems differently because they built cushion, and cushion changes recovery speed dramatically. A financial emergency that destroys one person becomes manageable for another. That's why wealth often feels less like luxury and more like resilience, the ability to absorb shocks without your entire life collapsing. And honestly, that may be one of the most underrated benefits of investing, not becoming flashy, becoming harder to break. Then eventually people reach a point where they stop asking, how do I look rich? And start asking, how do I protect my freedom? That's a completely different mindset because freedom requires maintenance. It requires patience, restraint, emotional control, long-term thinking. And many people lose wealth because they forget that. They spend years building stability, then destroy it trying to accelerate too aggressively. This happens constantly. Someone builds wealth slowly through discipline, then suddenly leveraged investments, speculation, ego purchases, risky business deals, trying to get richer faster when they were already winning. Boring wealth often survives. Exciting wealth often collapses. That's why financially intelligent people usually become more focused on sustainability as they grow older, because they understand something painful. Building wealth once is hard. Rebuilding it after losing it feels devastating. And eventually, after enough time passes, people discover the final truth nobody explains properly. The goal was never really money itself. Money was just the tool. The real goal was autonomy, the ability to wake up without constant dread, the ability to make decisions without fear controlling everything, the ability to spend time with people you love, the ability to leave environments destroying your mental health, the ability to live slower when needed. That's the real fantasy people are chasing, not private jets. Peace. And the reason compounding feels almost magical is because it slowly buys that peace back piece by piece. Not instantly, very slowly, almost invisibly at first, which is why most people quit too early. They stop during the phase where progress still feels emotionally invisible. But the people who stay patient long enough eventually experience something powerful. One day they look back and realize the first $1,000 changed their awareness. First 10,000 changed their stability. The first 100,000 changed their confidence. And somewhere along the way, their money stopped feeling like survival fuel and started feeling like a quiet system working in the background of their life. That's when wealth finally becomes real. Not when you look rich, when you stop feeling trapped. And honestly, that may be the greatest luxury modern life can offer.